transmission from the resistance. What's going on, guys? Syndicate, full battle rattle, ready for war as usual. On today's episode, we'll just dive into the First Amendment being under assault. It is under heavy fire as usual. And let's just take a look at some of the culprits that are working against us in that department. So check out Jake Shields' post. Despite only having 300 Jews, South Dakota has made laws making it illegal to criticize Israel or Jews. He's referring to Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, and she just signed a bill. And here is some of the criteria that we can scan over pertaining to. This would be one of my favorite lines in there: making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as collective, such as, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, and other societal institutions. Wow. It's almost like they know that's exactly what they're doing, and they're trying to lay the framework as a security net to prohibit you to be able to voice your opinion about that. Interesting. All right, so we can deem Governor Kristi Noem as a Bolshevik sellout to Jewish special interests in Israel. Let's see what Ian Malcolm 84 has to say. Oh, looky. And Georgia and Florida, soon to be everywhere. Okay, Georgia anti-Semitism bill wins final approval amid Israel-Hamas war. Bill extends protections to Jewish people under hate crimes law. What does that say? Members of the Jewish community and supporters hold signs during an anti-Semitism press conference at the Georgia State Capitol on Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. All right, so we can add Georgia to the Bolshevik state list. Who's another Bolshevik state? Oh, Ron DeSantis, the weird one himself. This is back on April 28th of last year. Governor Ron DeSantis signs legislation in Israel further combating anti-Semitism. Jerusalem, Israel. Today, Governor Ron DeSantis visited Israel. This dude flew to Israel, all right, as part of his international trade mission, where he signed House Bill 269 to provide law enforcement agencies with new enforcement mechanisms to punish perpetrators of anti-Semitic incidents and those who target religious communities. By signing HB 269, Governor DeSantis has once again made Florida a leader on protecting religious liberty and the state of Israel, both in the United States and around the world. That is absolutely incredible, and I find that word selection to be quite curious. A leader on protecting religious liberty. It's actually religious persecution against Christians as they're trying to elevate Judaism. Yeah, stand by for this video because it makes my blood pressure rise.
I know in South Dakota you've got a bill, I think it's a new bill combating anti-Semitism or reaffirming old bills. Could you just tell us a little bit about that because it's such an important issue?
Well, this is a bill that defines what anti-Semitism is, and it has examples that we put in statute that will be used as model legislation in every other state to make sure we're defining what a hate crime is and that we can prosecute those who engage in it. It really.
So who do you think drafted the verbiage for that bill that she signed off on? Do you think it was a white Christian? Absolutely not.
Is the strongest language in this country to push back on some of what we've seen for hatred being spread across this country since the October 7th attacks. So
hatred spread across this country. You can't criticize a genocide without being a condoner of Hamas and these people's opinions.
I was devastated to see some folks in this country be uneducated and some maybe purposefully.
And now she's just calling you stupid while she tries to eat away at your First Amendment rights.
Stand with pro-Hamas and attack our allies, Israel, and our brothers and sisters in the Jewish community. So
our brothers and sisters who make up 2% of the nation.
This bill we signed into law today in the rotunda of our Capitol. We had hundreds and hundreds of people there. It was amazing to see the unity and the support. We have one of the smallest Jewish communities in the entire country.
The smallest community in the whole country. And she's the one that is pushing and signing off on some of the most detrimental legislation that totally violates your First Amendment rights. She should be absolutely ashamed of herself. I wonder how much money she made to do that.
But we dearly love them and stand with our allies and are proud to sign this bill that I believe many, many, many other states are going to use because it gives them strong language that we can win in court and prosecute those who engage in hate crimes.
That's what it's all about. They want to be able to prosecute anybody that has a dissenting opinion or view about the genocide going on there and about the other things that we already know about. They can piss off with that nonsense.
Congratulations on that. We appreciate Governor Christie Nolan. Thank you ever so much.
We appreciate it. I bet you do, Cudlow. And just to try to give you some context of why they're doing this, it's because they want to be able to get away with anything under the sun and you not be able to criticize it, speak out about it. And if you do so, they're going to slap a label on you, a word, and actually an antiquated word. And if you look it up, it's obsolete because Arabs are also considered Semites. So anti Semitic in itself is another fallacy, one of many, but they're going to do this so you can't speak out about truly unjust things that are transpiring so they can get away with today murder. All right, I stand by these words. This was a tweet that I put out on the 8th of March. If you want to know any politician who is a fraud and pretends to be America first, but is really Israel first, America last, and bought by AIPAC, just look at their tweets. They always remove the chameleon cloak eventually. These Republicans nowadays are a joke. That chameleon cloak, what I'm talking about there, is these Judaic operatives that insert themselves into the MAGA group. And they're pretty obvious, although they have a lot of people fooled. And hopefully over time they'll be exposed in the eyes of the naive, but they're pretty easy to spot. And here we go. Tom Cotton, obviously, nobody really cares to hear anything he's got to say anymore. But then check out Miss Carrie Lake, and she's supposed to be Miss America First, considered to be a contender for the VP slot for Trump. Let's click on that bad Larry. Oh, I can't. It's a screenshot. Wait a second. Here you go. Voted against Iron Dome funding and for the Iran deal. He refused to condemn anti-Semitism at Harvard, Arizona State, and in Congress. He cannot be trusted to stand with Israel. Look, here you go. How do you pronounce his name? Gallego, I don't know much about that character, is beholden to the far left pro Hamas terrorist sympathizers. So, once again, you cannot criticize anything about Israel without having these MAGA frauds who claim to be America First candidates just always talking about Israel, 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 Israel. All right, MAGA, I saved the best for last. So, we got Judaic operative Jacob N. Kornblau on February 26. Trump was presented today a menorah as an award for his efforts to make peace in the Middle East. The group, the Israel Heritage Foundation, visited him at Mar-a-Lago and called him a Prince of Peace. Now look at the Trumpinator holding the menorah with a stringy bearded, black-hatted rabbi and 4 other Jewish special interest operatives. My message to MAGA and essentially anybody that actually cares about America and our future, nothing will change until that ceases. We need to be America first. We need to remove Israel from the equation.